Hello, I hope everybody is doing well. Tonight's video is on gentle parenting, and I know right off the bat people get a little up in arms about like gentle parenting. Ooh, that must mean no boundaries and no discipline and none of that stuff. And I must say, au contraire, I was raised in a very authoritarian household where we were told what to do and there was no ands, ifs, or buts, or reasons, or really even regard to emotions or how we were feeling. And there's been a lot of growth and healing, and as I begin to parent my own toddler around these things, really examining that and knowing that I want to do differently as a parent, and I coach parents to do differently as parents. And it's hard when that is what you were used to, that is how we are programmed. It's innate when it was however many years of hearing the same things over and over, and not having necessarily emotional needs met and such. So I have 6 principles, or 6 different thoughts about gentle parenting and why they're important, and some examples. So the first one is misbehavior is a child's way of communicating an unmet need. And if we think of us as adults, when we're hungry, cranky, angry, tired, do we always react pleasantly and kindly and not snap and not be grumpy? Heck no. And if you are, you're a saint. So remembering that if your kiddo is acting out, if your kiddo is all of a sudden hitting, kicking, biting, saying things they don't normally say, and this is all age dependent, and speaking more towards toddlers, but if your 8, 9, 10-year-old is saying things that they wouldn't normally say, or they're grumpy in a way that they're not normally grumpy, really being mindful, like, what's going on? Are they not feeling good? Did something happen at school? Are they tired? Did they not get enough sleep the night before? How is their nutrition? Are they hungry? Are they thirsty? Are they dehydrated? Have they been outside in the sun? So really being mindful of those things. Don't let your first thought when your child misbehaves be about the behavior specifically, but get curious about maybe what else is going on. And even ask your kid, if your child is old enough, to say like, hey buddy, you don't normally react this way when I ask you to set the table. Can you tell me like what's going on? And your kiddo may have some real insight to this. And the more we ask these questions and the more we do these things, the more our kids are going to become insightful about why they're doing what they're doing. Number 2 is to validate your child's effort. So thanks so much for giving that a try. I know that was so hard. When they're getting frustrated with a new toy or a new principal with math or things like that, like really validating the effort that you're seeing from them is super important. What we praise and what we really shine light on is what we're going to get more of, and that goes both ways. Whether we're focusing on our kids' naughty behavior and really putting a microscope on that and really focusing on their naughtiness and the fact that they climb the shelves and they're just misbehave, that's what we're going to get more of. Whereas if we magnify their strengths and we really when we find them doing something good in the midst of struggle and really edify that, is when we're going to find more of that. They're going to think, oh, last time I tried this really hard math problem, mom affirmed me and told me I was doing a good job, even though I got it wrong. She gave me an A for effort, so I'm going to try this hard thing again. So really validating your children's efforts. Number 3, giving your child the respect that you want them to give you. So this can be as simple as listening to them when they're talking to you. And a lot of times as parents, we can just say like, zip it, I don't want to hear it. I'm the parent, listen to me when I'm speaking to you, don't roll your eyes. And those things go both ways. Once again, we can't expect those things from our kids if we're not willing to give it to them. And this is not looking at them as peers. This is looking at them as human beings with dignity that deserve respect. And yes, you are the parent and you have to hold the boundaries and you have to toe the line. But listening to your kid, getting down to their eye level and really listening to them and saying to them, taking time. Like if you're busy doing something and they're pulling at your shirt and really wanting to talk to you, it may mean saying like, I need to finish this task and then I will talk to you, and then following through. Get down on the floor with your child or sit down next to them and just say, okay, I'm ready to listen. What did you need to tell me? Or things like that. Number 4, Never punish your child for their feelings. So this was something that happened to me all the time. Only one person in my household was allowed to feel anger. So never punish your child. Never send your child to his or her room for feeling angry. Discipline them for the actions they took because of the anger. So if your child slaps you or a sibling, or however they react to however they react to an emotion that is outside of your boundary, that is what you're disciplining them for, and letting them know, hey bud, it's okay that you're angry, but it's not okay that you kicked the door. So I'm sending you to your room because you kicked the door. After that happens, talking to them, what could you have done instead of kicking the door? Could you have gone outside and run some laps around the house? Could you have told me that you needed a moment to go inside your room and scream it out? Instead of making it about the anger, giving your child some ways to get out the anger in a healthy way. So not making it about the emotion, not making it about not disciplining your child for feeling frustrated, not disciplining your child for sadness, for anger. I always go back to anger, but not disciplining your child because of how they're feeling, but their reaction to that feeling, and then really dissecting that with them. And this can start, from toddler age. Your kid's having a tantrum on the floor. This can go back to regulation, but telling them why you are giving them the boundary that you're giving them. So can start from a very young age. So by the time they are 7, 8, 9, 10, they understand. Number 5, express confidence in their abilities. So when they're trying a new task, when they're really struggling with something, saying, I know that you can do this. I know this may be really difficult for you. I know that you are shy and talking to new people is really hard for you, but I know you can do this. We all need a cheerleader, right? We all need to hear those words of affirmation that we can do hard things. Number 6 is remembering the worse they feel, the worse they behave. And I guess we could say this for all of us. When you come across really grumpy, mean, nasty adults, chances are that's how they feel about themselves. It has nothing to do with you as a person that they've come across that they're being rude, belligerent to. It's how they're feeling about themselves. So remember, your kiddos, the worse they're feeling about themselves is the more they're going to act out. So this kind of goes back to the first principle of misbehavior is your child's way of communicating an unmet need. But remember, if they're teething, sick, angry, hurt, so on and so forth, you're going to see bigger behaviors or different behaviors than maybe you've seen before. So some things to remember kind of around all this: is your child hungry, angry, lonely, tired? Whenever parents are kind of struggling, this once again goes back to like regulation and co-regulation, which I really want to get into and actually do a course on for parents. But add sunshine or water. Does your kiddo need to go outside and have a change of scenery? Can you pop them in a warm bath? Can you give them some ice to play with? These kind of things help us to re-regulate our limbic system, which I talk about all the time, and can kind of shift emotions and shift things. Getting down to their level is really important, especially with our littles and our toddlers. And you'll find them coming over and like yanking on our pants or a shirt because they want us down at their level to talk to them. We may not think they fully understand, but they do. And just that being important. If it's your teenager and maybe they just really struggle with you talking to them face to face, going for a walk together, going for a ride together, where you are parallel to each other, but it's not necessarily feeling like invasive to them. Tell them what you want instead. So your kiddo is kicking the door. Tell them instead, buddy, if you want to kick something, you are welcome to kick your angry pillow. You are welcome to go outside and kick the dirt. So giving them a way to be able to get out whatever they're feeling, but telling them what you want instead. If they've been using their hands to hit, tell them that you would like a high five. So giving that part of their body that they're using in a way that you don't deem appropriate, giving them some other way to use that body part, if that makes any sense. Natural consequences are totally a principle of gentle parenting and are a part of life. Like as adults, we have natural consequences for
yes, this guy maybe isn't the best for me, but I'm gonna date him anyway, and then it kind of blows up in our face. Like, that's a natural consequence. Choosing to do, a poor job at work means that probably in our review that's going to come up, natural consequence. So, allowing your child to make those choices and to say, hey buddy, I don't like the choice that you're making right now, but if that's the choice you're going to make, then, that's okay. And this may look like, your toddler is eating food and keeps throwing it off his tray and saying, okay, either you can choose to eat your food right now, or you can be done. And the second they throw the next piece of food, they're done. So it's a natural consequence. And remembering age-appropriate skills to nurture independence. So these are just some of the principles of natural parenting that I hope you guys find helpful.